Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Zach. How are you?
Good, good, good. And hello to AWS console as well.
And so, yeah, yeah. I just shared the screen because I want to do some pre-checking. So, yeah,
Mhm.
it's all right. We have three people now. Yeah,
Yep.
AWS console is with us.
So, how are you doing, Zach?
Doing great, doing great. Yep. Mm, so many couple of things are going on. Preparing for some future sessions. So soon I'll be announcing that soon. And apart from that, booked for my AWS cert because community builders get a certificate voucher, right?
Mhm.
My voucher is expiring, I think, end of April. So I booked the exam already, mid of April. So I'm gonna do the DevOps Pro certification. So let's see how it goes.
Mm. So, good luck with prepping up for
Thank you,
that. Yeah.
thank you.
And that reminds me, I have to recertify myself as well. So, yeah.
Oh, you already have the DevOps Pro, right?
Nope, I don't.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, Solution Architect is expired. I have to get
Okay.
a recertification.
My solution architect, SysOps admin, and the security specialist all expired. And yeah, I have to do the security specialist again because I did the version one, so they have the new version two. There are so many things changed, like evolving every day. So it's better to certify, like if you want to learn something new.
Yep, absolutely.
But don't I mean to the audience, right? Don't do certification just for sake of passing the certificate. Just do it for yourself and just learn it properly. Do my hands-on labs. So yeah,
Yep.
don't just go and get a course and just ready prepare for the exam. Don't do like that.
It's always best to try things around hands on,
Yeah,
get yourself the experience of
yeah,
building, breaking, and yeah, scratching your head. So, yeah.
yeah. Break fast, recover fast. It's good, right? You're from Bangalore. I'm in Wellington, and our console is from Sydney.
We are all over APAC. So, yeah.
Yeah, I usually pick US East one always. There was some issues when I was preparing the demo, right?
Mhm.
As usual, the resource insufficient resource in that region.
Mhm.
So it could be like if I tried like after a few minutes should be done, but um, I thought it's okay. Sydney is all anyways good. It's closer to New Zealand, and I don't have much of issue with network speed and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's always good to choose the nearest region.
Nearest region. Yeah.
US East 1 is known for all things that could go otherwise, right?
So
So, yep.
sometimes I call as US East one is the sandbox of AWS.
Yep.
Nice. So what are we going to talk about today?
Mm. We have the Kubernetes expert with us.
Ah, no,
So,
I'm not an expert, but yeah, I mean, I do
come on,
use
for me, you're
Kubernetes
an
day to
expert.
day. Yep. um,
Yeah. So, what are we
Actually,
talking about today, Zach?
yes. So actually, I opened this link here.
Mm-hmm.
So I always follow these articles, the blogs they're always posting, and I see something new. Oh, okay, this topic actually catch my eye because there's a story behind this. Because if you are using Kubernetes, especially EKS, you might know the pain. What I'm going to talk about, managing your cluster access. So Zach gonna share the link. Yes, I'll directly go here. This map. So in previously, if you want to access a cluster, the control plane of the cluster, and your IAM resources, for example, IAM users or IAM
Mm-hmm.
roles, right? So both, I mean, either of those ARNs should be in your config map, which is under the system namespace. I'm going to show you that one. So this one, I already created a cluster here.
Mm-hmm.
So I any other users who are listening to this, I assume that you already know what is Kubernetes and know what is EKS, know what is IAM roles and stuff. Because this initially, I'm telling you, this is not for a beginner who is trying to learn EKS. This is something I want to point out, a feature that recently released about managing the access. So this is my cluster which I created in the Sydney region, and I already configured my kube config and kubectl. The client is installed in my Cloud Shell, so I communicate with my cluster already. Cool. So now we are going to check the config map in kube system. So this config map name called AWS Auth.
Mm-hmm. So I'm printing it as YAML, and
Sorry, Zach.
yep, I see the YAML output with
Okay.
the ARN. So yeah.
Yeah. So the manifest here, right? I just output the YAML of the config map of AWS Auth. So this IAM role, Zach show admin, inside this IAM role. Sorry, inside this config map, which means this user, this role basically
Mm-hmm.
have system masters means, if you go here, I will show. So Kubernetes comes with RBAC, right? Rollback
Yep.
access policy. So systems master means cluster-wide roles. So I'll recap a little about something really quickly. So cluster role and role are two different things. Cluster role means like cluster-wide. So entire cluster-wide you can get access. The role, it's bind to a namespace. So
Mm-hmm.
namespace are segregation of resource inside the Kubernetes cluster, right? So if you have one cluster to manage, maybe you're a small company and you don't you're trying to manage your cost to run all your UAT and dev in one cluster, production is a separate cluster. So you want to segregate UAT and dev resources in different namespaces. So yeah, so something like that. So here, what does this mean? Um, this role have full access to the cluster wide. So system masters means the group. This role can do anything like edit, delete, create, view any resources inside the cluster. So this is how we used to be. What we managing, what does mean like managing access management inside the EKS cluster. So this is just one role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zach, let's talk
Yep.
about if you have like 1,000 or 100 users, 500 users, 200 roles, how
Hard to
you think
manage.
managing this file, okay, inside the cluster. Yeah, still we can do it. Like if you're using IAC properly, if you're using like Terraform or CloudFormation, um, um, if you're using that way, yes, still you can do it. But if anything goes wrong to this one, it can be a big disaster.
Yep.
That means you will lose the cluster access, even though you see, right, even the node group instance using this some of the cluster roles here. So
Mm-hmm.
this really critical part of a cluster, like directly the accessing, right? So that what it's here it's showing. So this is how it used to go here, like old way. So you use IAM user, IAM
Mm-hmm.
role, and STS assume, and it use AWS IAM authenticator, and it check get the token, and it check the kube config. Okay, so until here it's doing the authorization, and from here, sorry, authentication, and from here it's doing the authorization. It will check
Mm-hmm.
in the Kubernetes config file whether okay this user has access or not to do such things. But so that is our problem now. We are talking about this problem. If you're managing this file, this kind of records in single file, it's a really, really painful thing. Even though when I check this article, the first thing I notice here, they use something called pain. I
Okay.
remember. So that's why
Okay.
it's kind of highlighted me. Okay, yes, it's a pain to manage such a long file. But after this feature, actually, it's supporting after version 1.23. We're not going through all the document. It's users can read it, but I'm going to show the important few things that how you can really, really easily set up this in your cluster. If you're not using it, you can start using it from today. And how are these the roles going to work here? And I'm going to explain you one by one. Okay, go back to this. So yeah, I think enough talking about the AWS config map. Sorry, auth config map, and let's go to the new feature. Cool. So I'm going to the cluster again. So if you have a cluster, if you created the cluster, and you can see something here, it's called authentication mode is changed to EKS API and config map. So if I click manage access, it's to see, right? Oh, so it's not going back. Cool. If your cluster is already using only config map, this should be enabled, like the tick should be here. But when I created the cluster, by default, it's created EKS API and config map. So if I quickly jump here, my cluster supports. Sorry, Zach.
Yeah. So existing clusters could be having only config map, right?
Yeah,
Not the
yeah,
EKS.
definitely. No, unless if you're not created like recently. I think when I use EKSCTL commands to create the cluster, because within one command of line, I just spin up a cluster to show the demo. It's easy. So by default, it's created using both access. But if you're using all cluster different, you'll be seeing only config map, so you can able to update it. This is a really, really good document. You can go through, and I just learned from just going through this document and give it a try myself. So it's really straightforward. We can do that. I mean, anyone can do that. Cool. So today, what we're going to do now, I am going to go back here because I don't have to set up the access because it's already there. So here, right? So this is something new. You see, IAM access entities as entries is already. I can see by default these are created while I create the cluster. I'm going to create IAM access entry now. Cool. Before go ahead, I have prepared. Oops, sorry. Is it clear?
Yep.
Okay, nice. I have prepared 4 roles, just IAM roles here, nothing else. And first one is Zaxshow cluster admin, Zaxshow cluster read only, Zaxshow namespace coffee admin, and namespace coffee read only. So what we are going to do here, the first one, if I can get a marker, nice. So this one will be having a.
I think marker is not visible. Okay, that's better.
Yes. How can I make the thickness?
Yep.
Nice, guys. So this one, what I'm going to do, this role should be able to access cluster-wide admin. So should be able to edit, delete deployments, create pods, namespace, secrets, whatever. This one will have a read-only, but cluster-wise. Any resources like, pods, deployments, and your config maps. So should be able to view from this role.
Read across the cluster.
across the cluster, yes, because it's going to be a cluster-wide role. And this one, I'm going to bind only for a namespace. So I created a namespace called coffee, and anything inside that namespace, except, so there's something called here. Yes. So there are some restrictions. So Zach already shared this link. If you go and click this one here, it will directly go to the Kubernetes rollback authorization part. So there are some limitations in the namespace-wise admin. So here you can see there are some version changed, and so the resource quotas you cannot able to you're unable to edit the resource quotas, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So there are some restrictions, but if you have a team, like you have a developer team, you have a QA team, you have a DevOps team, you can create different namespace, and for example, if they want to do some testing inside that namespaces, you can segregate, or else you can, if you have a different apps, you can segregate. So it's up to you how you're designing your the company, whatever the hierarchy. Cool. So here it's mentioning like Amazon EKS cluster admin policy means cluster admin, EKS admin policy means admin, and edit means it policy edit, and view means view. So the access policies, you can list the policies using available policies using the AWS CLI to EKS list. List access policies. Yeah. So these are the current access policies available. So the same thing in here. So what we can do for each of the policies. But don't worry, we are going to try it out. And if you're having any doubts, definitely it will clear what I'm talking about. So first, let's see a cluster admin. Cluster admin should do a lot of things, right? And since I'm going to use my CLI, I'm just going to keep it as standard here. And username is optional. So the EKS will automatically generate a username for you. It's not nothing. It's not necessary. And the groups are really interesting. If you have like Kubernetes roles and role bindings already set up inside a cluster, so those things are managing outside of EKS, definitely outside of AWS, because those are Kubernetes resources. Maybe you can use GitOps to manage those resources inside, or or maybe a Helm chart like separately, or even a Kubernetes manifest, whatever. So it should be able to see your. I mean, you can type your the group name and just give the permission. So we're not going to do that today. I just want to. I'm super excited to show this thing here. Nice. So see here, I'm going to give cluster admin policy, cluster wise, add policy. Next. Great. So I didn't touch the config map. I'm just doing, I'm doing through the console, but definitely you can do through your IAC, a CDK or CloudFormation, Terraform, you can do using whatever you like. So if I go to the access again, see, my cluster admin is here. Cool. Now, let's play around with this role. So I'm going to go to my terminal here again. What I'm going to do now, I have created a small script, because each time if I'm going to assume role, I have to copy and paste my token. So it's going to be painful. Nice. Cool. So it's basically I'm assuming that role, the cluster admin, and exporting the each value to my access ID, key ID, secret, and the token.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. Cool. So if I type AWS STS get role identity, so I already successfully assigned to this role now. So I'm the cluster admin. Since already the kube config is configured, the certificate should be in the files, so I don't have to do that again. So I should be able to, let's see, clusters, yes. So this is a cluster-wide admin. So we have a command called kubectl auth. Can I? It's cool, right? Can I create pods? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I create config maps? Yeah. Can I delete pods? Yes. So basically, I'm a cluster-wide admin. I should be able to do anything. So if I scale get namespaces, so I have tea, coffee, and I should be able to list anything under what's under good system maybe. Right. So we have logged in as this one. So we can just successfully can see it's we should be able to do edit and create, delete those things, right? So if you want, we can just maybe try to ctl run next image next space coffee. So what I did, I just created a pod name nginx using the contain image nginx inside the coffee namespace. I hate.
So you're an admin, so you're able to create pods.
So I can see, right? So it's running here. So I should be able to kubectl. I should be delete the pod as well. It's deleted.
Deleted.
Yes. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run the content again. So the content should be running now. Nice. So you know what I'm thinking about now? Let's log in from the read only and try to delete this guy.
Let's do it. We want to see access denied.
Yeah. Hopefully it should work. Yeah, it should work, right? Yeah. Cool. So I am going to first unset my keys. So I don't have to worry there. So I'm going to create here. Say this cluster read only standard. Just leave it as it is for now. And I'm going to create cluster wise here, but a view policy.
Read only access.
Yep. Nice. So let me create my script, copy paste here. Okay, I am going to here and paste. So cluster read only, session name, but as read only, and paste. Nice. Right. TS. Get call identity. Yeah. So I'm logged in as a read only, right? Yeah.
Yep. And it's cluster wide read only.
This is a cluster wide read only. Yeah. So if I get pods in coffee, yep, I can see. And if I get pods in cube system, yep. Let's do CDL auth. Can I get pods? Yes. So I can, right?
Yep. That's a no.
No. So that's a no. So that means it cannot delete the pods. It's cluster wide, but it's a read only. So no, it's not your day today. Yeah. So these are like still we have two more things to go. But I just want to tell you that if you want to have like, so people might think if you would like to have like a customized rollbacks, like roles, right? Like I want to give specific I want to give a cluster wide role, but should be able to delete in these specific namespaces, but not in these specific, right? Like specifically, explicitly, you can mention, okay, these specific namespaces, this role could be able to delete, edit, and rest of the namespace can edit. View. So that's where the groups comes in. Remember, I was showing the groups. I can show you again. And you should be able to configure role and role binding, but it should be do by yourself, and you can map those groups here to the cluster. To the IAM roles. So it should be able to do whatever the things inside there. But
so groups are for each cluster, or
inside the cluster, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not so the groups, right? So there are two things. You can create cluster wide roles. I'm talking about the Kubernetes side. Cluster role and cluster role binding, and role and role binding. So cluster role bindings are for cluster wide, role binding for namespace wide.
Got it. Right.
Yeah. Cool beans. And it's a no. So the answer is already there. You cannot do it. And yeah. So anything else you want to try it out? I think, yeah, that's all. Yeah. Because it's a cluster wide role, should be able to. So next one is going to be really interesting. One set. Ooh.
So now you're creating it for a namespace?
Namespace. So
namespace advanced.
Yes. So here I was talking about if you're managing your own role and role bindings here. So you have to create and you have to specify the subjects. In this case, I don't have any custom role bindings or roles, the cluster, because I prepared for the demo today, so I didn't have much time, and I was doing something else as well. Maybe, yeah. I'm planning to write an small dev2 article. So maybe I'll add there, with a nice demo. Cool.
Yep.
But all about this, our show is like we play around with new things, and we are not going to deploy to the production today.
Yeah, and if we need a deep dive, we could do it sometime later on. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We can do if anyone wants a deep dive, definitely. I mean, if anyone wants to do a EKS deep dive, I'm more than happy. We can do that. I think we never done anything about EKS deep dive right now.
Yep.
Maybe
I
we
believe
can
this
do.
is the first one. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good start. Yeah. So we can do a retro later. What we have done here. Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to create a Kubernetes. I'm going to give that access here. Admin policy. So this time I'm going to admin policy, not cluster wide. Admin policy here, and for a Kubernetes namespace here. So NS means namespace short term. So you might think how I can still see this thing, right? Because I log in as my SSO user. So this user created the cluster. So by naturally, automatically, the user you're creating, the cluster will get the cluster-wide admin access.
Mm-hmm.
So by default, it's a feature. By default, it will add. But if you're using IAC, you can configure that as well to set it as a false. I believe, yes.
So when you're
In
deploying
Terraform,
it from
yeah.
console, by default it's admin.
Yes, console. But even if you're using through EKS CTL, yes, it's by default it's set. So in a way, it's good because for these demos, right, no need to be more complicated. Otherwise, getting access again. But not anymore. Since you have this feature now, you don't have to worry about it. Imagine, Zach, like you created a cluster using this Rolo user, and something happened, but you can reset it again and you can gain the access back. But if you're using the cluster using the root account, you cannot access the cluster, right? I mean,
Yep.
if you're using the root account to create a cluster, how you going to create the IAM credential for the user root account? So there was a couple of years ago when I was trying out this, I created a cluster using my root account. Not a good practice, like when they released these things, like long time ago. And I was like, oh, how I'm going to access the cluster now?
Because you always need a user. Yes.
Yeah. So you need a user, right? So, but this method now you make sure you can manage your cluster to the console of IAC, and without accessing the config map in AWS Auth, you can directly give access to your cluster. Cool. So I'm going to give the coffee namespace here. Oh, yeah. So admin access policy for coffee namespace.
Okay.
Yep. On here, just looking for friends. Great. Nice. Cool. I am going to so namespace coffee admin best. Nice. And oops. Nice. So I'm logged in as the
Namespace.
namespace. Yes. So if I get kubectl get pods. What will happen if I type? Nah. So you're forbidden. You cannot list pods in the namespace default because you are admin, but only in
For coffee.
coffee. But if you want to check tea, nah, it's not your day today. So no, not tea. So let's say if I want to add another access policy, so I'm still in there. So let's see, we want to give admin policy to maybe T.
Yep.
Let's see how fast it's going to propagate.
So it's a namespace admin for tea and coffee now.
Coffee, yeah. Or else we can play around. Maybe we can give for the tea
Read only.
view policy only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just play around, right?
Yes.
Yep. So we have, so we have view to tea, but no coffee. So I'm going to check tea. Let's see how fast it's propagating. Wow. It's super fast, right? Yep.
Yep.
So I can see pods in tea, but if I want to create, I'm going to run. So I'm going to run in T. So I'm going to try to deploy a container pod to into namespace. No.
And error. Yes.
No. So you cannot create pods in here. But if I try to do in coffee,
This should allow because you're in
it's
admin,
admin,
of
right?
namespace.
Yep. So you should be able to see 2 pods now, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. So I should be able to delete pods as well. Because I'm a namespace admin. Yep. So that's about the admin. But if you put the read only, I think I show the same thing here. I just gave the read only access to the T, and yep. So play around with it. Zach already shared this document. There are a couple of scenarios out there, like how you can try this out in different use cases and scenarios. But it's important to understand if you're into Kubernetes, and if you know Kubernetes already, and if you know EKS already, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't know that there's a feature like this is recently announced, go and try this out. And if you just got to know that, okay, oh, something like this is there, you're gonna really happy, because I know how pain to manage the config map. So
Awesome. When was this released, Zach?
This was released actually last year. Exactly, remember, before Christmas. Yeah.
So it was a post-event from post-event.
Yeah, post-event from reInvent, yes. So it's really amazing. Like if you're using Kubernetes and EKS, so this is something really nice to try. And I really love the feature. You see, right, how fast that we could do these things without managing a list. So that YAML that we're showing, right? So if I let's see it. Okay. Still not familiar with this terminal yet. So config map is short.
Cloud Shell on AWS consoles.
Yeah. because my local machine I have autocomplete, right? So certain, so here it's not supporting for certain commands. But you can you can set up that one as well. Like you can keep it like a persistent in your shell. So that's also really amazing.
Interesting.
It's AWS out, right? Oh, sorry.
Oh, spelling.
Yeah, my typo. Let's say AWS out.
It's AWS.
Yep. So you don't have to. I mean, if you have like 100 or 200 lines like this, so it's very painful to manage. And yep. So what I'm saying is just give it a try. I think it definitely saves some of your time and managing effort. Yeah, that's all about it. It's a very small thing, but I thought I could have done it like within a few minutes, but it took so long. But actually, we did some couple of scenarios to give a try. It was very fun, right? Like
Yes, we played around with admin view only policies. So yeah, that was fun.
how you find that feature, Zach? What do you think about that?
It's great. So I've not been using Kubernetes off late, so I'm glad to see something like this is being evolved, where your access management and the way how you access different policies is so easy to manage because you don't have to worry about it in your infrastructure as code. Instead, it's a couple of policies that you just have to manage, and it's much easier than having a system-wide access.
Yep.
Awesome. So we have somebody from Twitch joining us today, and was good.
Who's that?
Dubs Hooters. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we were live streaming on Twitch. So awesome.
Oh, great stream, my friends. Oh, thank you. Oh, nice.
Awesome. Yeah. So in case if you want to know more about Kubernetes, that is your person. And if you want us to do more deep dives around Kubernetes or any other things with cloud and DevOps or serverless, you could let us know, and we are happy to do more around this.
Yep.
Awesome. More power to you,
Nice.
Dubs and Hooters.
Cool. Nice. Yep. Cool. So I'm going to delete my cluster. Otherwise I'll get shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nice
always
then.
good.
And
to
we
delete
have to announce
something.
that, right? Remember what we printed recently?
Yes, yes, yes. So mine is still on the way. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get it. So maybe next show we can show that while we both have
Yes,
it.
let's do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but
All
I
good
believe
then.
most of them already know it because
Yep.
we announced about that.
Yep.
But yeah, let's show it across at our next stream.
Yes. And our first commenter, right? We definitely give one for him. Oh,
Yeah.
her. Like, yeah. Cool. Then I think it's all good. So we don't have to take more time of you guys. So we'll see you with another cool episode soon.
Yep. And see you, Zach, and AWS console.
Bye from Sydney and bye from Wellington.
And bye from Bengaluru.
Yeah.
Thank you all. See you again soon.
Bye-bye.